Hello, welcome to SolidXperts webinar. My name is Chris Duchesne. Today we're covering new sheet metal commands in SolidWorks 2012. First, I'm going to start off with this frame here, and as you can see here, we have a couple of electric wireways routed with a sheet metal. Well, these were created by one of the new sheet metal commands called swept flange. So, swept flange works like the sweep does in SolidWorks, but the difference now is you have the capabilities of having a complex geometry where you start off with a profile and then go along a path. And then after you create that geometry, you go ahead and OK that, and then you can create your wireway here, and then we can go ahead and quickly jump to a nice flattened pattern of that geometry so you can get an exact length of material that might be needed and used to create that wire trough, and if it changes. Now, so let's go back to our assembly. Another new feature in SolidWorks 2012 deals with edge flanges. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the corner of our electrical enclosure here, and let's quickly add an edge flange. And then when we add an edge flange, we'll go ahead and put that up to vertex. I'll look at this side profile. Now, previously, if we go ahead and change our angle now with that edge flange, you can see the distance does not change from the first time we made that selection. But now in SolidWorks 2012, we have the capabilities of being able to do parallel to base flange. So no matter how much we change the angle, it stays perfectly. It'll change the length accordingly as the angle changes. So you can put in and indicate any angle you want without worrying about the distance not updating correctly. So once we finish that flange, let's go ahead and now let's take a closer look at this actual closure part. We'll go ahead and add another edge flange on the bottom. And we'll make the angle parallel to this face, and we'll make it a distance 20, and take a nice quick side profile. Now, SolidWorks 2012, for our flange position, we had our inside material, outside material, but now we have a new one for tangent to bend. And what tangent to bend allows it to do is that the bend will actually be directly tangent to the edge you select for your bend. And now another improvement in SolidWorks 2012 is the capabilities for your flange length. Now we've had to a outer virtual sharp to an inner virtual sharp, but now we actually have a tangent to bend, where this 20 distance I put for my flange, when you go to measure it, because it's based upon the actual bend, you could put a vernier directly on this bend to this edge, and it will be measured 20 millimeters. So now let's go ahead and finish cleaning up this electrical enclosure by adding some corners. And now that we added now another improvement is with the forming tools for our design library. So we'll just go ahead and drag this wire clip on, indicate the angle we want at and which direction it's going to be going. Now, just like when you go to locate the position, instead of having to drag an individual ones, you can locate it with a point, like if you use a hole wizard. And every time and anywhere you place a point, you can move it wherever you want to place multiples of that tool just from a point location within that forming tool. Then once it's done, it'll go ahead and create the forming tool feature to your part. As well, if you want to add more louvers, you can add more detail. So here we have a louver. I'll drag and drop that on. And just indicate my angle and which direction I want the forming tool to go. Now under forming tools it supports configurations, so I can have multiple variations of this louver tool without having to have individual parts for each variation. So in this case I'll go with a 200 long part, and then I'll just go ahead and add the rest of my louvers to my electrical enclosure here. And just as before, you can just locate it wherever you need it. So now I've got most of my parts added to my electrical enclosure. Here is about done. So let's go ahead and create a drawing of it. Because these improvements to all these commands in 2012 have not just been added to just creating for forming tools and the actual parts and features, it actually has been added even how you detail your drawing to make it simpler and more clear to indicate information for your bends and your different forming tools. So, for example, there's a bunch of new tables that have been added in SolidWorks for drawings. So now we have our different components. So I'll just go ahead and drag and drop on a face, front face, and then side view. Now I'll go ahead and add our flat pattern. And after I add my flat pattern, just go ahead and orientate that to which way it will look best on the drawing. Once you have it laid out correctly, you'll be able to then use our new tables in SolidWorks 2012 for drawings. The new tables are, first one is our bend table, where you just take your flat pattern view and it'll go ahead and create a table. And in that table, it'll clearly define which label each individual bend, and it'll go through and say which angle the bend will be done at for a nice simple table to neaten up your drawing. And then we have another new table in SolidWorks 2012, the capabilities of adding for our punch table, where you just go define a XY coordinate to start from and the face that the punches will be done on. And after that's defined, you can go ahead and then it'll automatically create the table. Once again, all these tables are customizable to what standards you use. And in this table, this has the angles it at, and each individual, every punch is defined, and it gives the XY coordinates to be easier and faster to check the locations of your different bends and location of your punching tool. And once And now that's done. Now for another nice new improvement in SolidWorks 2012 is now capability to exclude faces. For example, if I went to flatten this part, I get an error because there's actually been a indent done to this part, so it can't be flattened. But I can just easily go and edit the feature and just go exclude faces. And once I do that, then I can go ahead and just flatten that part and create a flat pattern of this part by just excluding the faces of the indent pattern. So thank you very much for doing the SolidXperts webinar. Have a great day.